Alright, so this is going to be my review after 24 hours of the Google Pixel Watch. It's not going to be an in-depth review. It's not going to have a lot of tech specs. As a matter of fact, it's probably only going to be a couple minutes long. There's lots of reviews out there that go over the specs and in-depth reviews. I'm just going over my feelings after 24 hours. And overall, it's just okay. I mean, is it worth $350 for a first-gen watch? I don't know. I still haven't really decided. I'm probably going to keep it for a couple more days before I decide whether I'm returning it or keeping it. Let's start. Let's go over the look. You can see that it's going to be upside down, but I'm a big guy, 5'11", 290 pounds, and this watch just does not look right on my arm. I mean, this face is way too small. This should have had options for bigger faces. And the fact that the face doesn't go edge to edge doesn't help either. There's space around the edge that is just bezel, I guess. So everything on this is smaller. It's really hard to read the text on there because the face itself is so small, and then the screen doesn't take up 100% of the face. So there's an internal circle that you can see where the face goes out to, and the text is all really small. I went in and increased the text to the highest that it could. I'm not going to read it when I first wake up in the morning at that text, but all I can read is the time. I couldn't read the temperature or heart rate or anything. The feel, I mean, the band is great. I like how the band feels. I'd probably personally replace it with one of the leather bands or something, but the one that comes with it feels great. Now let's talk about this thing. I mean, to say I dislike it is an understatement. This charger, wow. Alright, let's take off XSplit. Alright, so this charger stinks. Really. The way that you have to charge it like that makes it impossible to lay it on anything flat. I mean, because the arms, I mean, the band hangs off the side. I mean, you cannot lay that on a nightstand or anything. It does end up working because when you put it on the nightstand, you lay it on something flat, the watch raises up, but then the magnet on the charger raises up with it. So it ends up being, you know, a little bit off, floating off the nightstand when you have it sitting on there. And the fact that they made it where you cannot remove it, you cannot replace this cable. I mean, I personally don't break cables, but I know a lot of people do. So you'd have to buy a whole new charger. I mean, it's a USB-C, but you cannot just plug another charger into this device. I personally, on my stand, use a much shorter charger, like 6 inches. Before I use something like this, so I don't have cords hanging all over my nightstand and running everywhere that I don't need. I mean, I just need to plug into the charger and then into the device. Now, my old watch was the Samsung, which I thought I put over here. Anyways, it was the Samsung Galaxy S3 Frontier. This one here, and I love this. I've had it for probably 6 years, and I probably will end up going back to it. But this was the charger for that, and as you can see, you can replace the cord. I even thought, well, maybe I'll throw this watch onto that charger. It didn't work. It looked like it was charging, then it stopped, then it looked like it was charging, then it stopped. I guess because it's so loose and it doesn't fit in that cradle. And I thought there was a magnet in here that would stick to it, but it doesn't. Oh, and now that it's up there, let's talk about that. In order to use the wallet on your watch with your cards, you have to set up either a pin or a pattern. I thought, okay, the pattern would be great, because the pin number, I'm probably not going to be able to see the numbers on there to type them in. with my big fingers and type it in there. The pattern's not any better. Trying to do that pattern on this small screen, I mean, I probably have to do it 3 or 4 times every time just to get it in. And I mean, let me try that pattern and get it in there. Alright, so it only comes with a couple faces. So I went out and found one that I liked. It was like $1.99 for this face on the Play Store. And it's great. It has everything on it that I wanted. It has the battery for the watch, the battery for my phone on there, the time, steps, heart rate, and the temperature outside. I couldn't find any of the faces that came with the watch that had all that on there. But, now there it is again. Alright. So I couldn't find any of the faces that came with the watch that had it on there. So I was happy when I found that one. And then realized that that face uses Google Fit for the steps. So when I first downloaded it, it had nothing on the steps and nothing on the heart rate. So I thought, okay, well, I mean, since the watch is using, by default, it uses Fitbit, the Fitbit app for steps and heart rate and all that. And they're both owned by Google, right? I mean, Fitbit is owned by Google, and Google Fit is obviously owned by Google. I thought, easy, just transfer the data or sync them together. Google Fit and Fitbit, sync the data together, and then the watch should show it, right? Nope. I mean, unless I did my research wrong, all the research I did said that you can't sync the data between Fitbit and Google Fit directly. You have to go through a third-party app. So I had to download an app called Health Sync just to be able to make 2 Google apps talk to each other, which made no sense at all to me. So, I mean, I like the watch. I want to like it more. I think it's really classic looking. I like the look of it. I wish it was bigger. But I'm most likely going to return it. I guess it's a good try for Gen 1, but not for me. I'm going to end up going back to my 45mm S3 Frontier that I've had for probably 6 years, and I like it just as much as the first gen Google Watch. If I could say I liked the Google Watch more, I'd probably keep it, but it really doesn't do anything that this one didn't do. And the reason I wanted to switch is after I switched away from Samsung and went to the Google 6, which I have the Google 7 now, phone, the Google 7, Pixel 7 phone. When I switched to the Google Pixel 6, this did not sync everything that I wanted to. I mean, I would get the time, but my alarms didn't come over. Like if I set an alarm on the phone, I used to be able to turn off the alarm or snooze it from my watch when I had it on my wrist in bed. Now I have to actually reach over to the phone to snooze it or turn it off. So I thought, you know, Google Pixel Watch would solve by that. It's supposed to go together. And honestly, I haven't even tried the alarms yet. I didn't work today, so I didn't set an alarm. And it may solve that problem. I mean, that's a small problem that it solves compared to the things that I don't like about it. And I can live with this watch because I think it looks better on my wrist. So anyways, that's my probably longer than I thought it was going to be review. But my feelings after 24 hours, I'm going to keep it a couple more days, but it's most likely going to get returned.